understand. My
Okay.
class time video on the
ఏమని ఆన్సర్స్ ఏంటారు అసమతరిత మురళి ప్రభు ఎప్పుడు వస్తున్న వీడియో ఆన్లోనే ఉంటాడు.
Okay, we'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamastoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Chaitanyam Ishwaram Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for Bhagavatam discussion today. I think 51 verse, right? Correct, no?
50 Prabhuji.
50, huh?
49 completed.
Okay, 50 is okay. 50, I think last two verses. So we'll continue that. Okay, devotees who allocated can read this.
It's allocated to me, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Please go ahead.
Canto 1, chapter 15, text 50. Draupadi cha tadanjanaya patinam anapekshatam vasudeve bhagavatihi eka antamati apatam. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. Purport. When flying an aeroplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane. And if there is any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. Similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. The help is, however, offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband, and others can all render help during one's lifetime. But while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize the instructions formally received. Draupadi had 5 husbands, and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of the Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same results as their husbands in the same manner. That is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result. None of them had to quit the body. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Okay, so here further, not only Pandavas, all Pandavas gone back home, back to God in the same body. Even Draupadi and Subhadra, of course, Subhadra is the direct sister of Lord Krishna. Draupadi also gone back home, back to God as the same body as they appeared in this material world. So this is the point is concluded here. So also Prabhupada says that Draupadi also saw that her husbands were the great heroes, at the same time great devotees. They're going back home, but they didn't bother to call her. But she had a full surrender to Krishna, and because of that, she also attained the perfection by the same body. Also understand that the Shastra talks about, especially Chanakya Pandita says that if wife serves her husband, very diligently, whatever the pious credit husband has got, 50% she gets. She don't have to separately do separate services. So she simply has to serve the husband who does the devotional service, because 50% by default comes. But at the same time, there's a risk factor for husband also. The wife's any sinful reactions, 50% goes to husband. So wife's pious credit doesn't go to husband. Similarly, husband's sinful actions, reactions doesn't go to wife. So that way, wife is always protected and husband is more responsible. So that's why Acharya say that one who has husband, or one who is father, one who is guru, or one who is king is responsible for his wife, or disciples, or praja, so that they have to ensure that they go back to Godhead. So that's why the sinful reaction comes. So here Prabhupada says that while going back to Godhead, nobody can help. Yes, everybody help, support the father, husband, children, guru. Everybody make the atmosphere conducive to go back to Godhead. Finally, flying has to happen individually. Prabhupada gives a very nice example. When you fly an aircraft, the aircraft got any issue, another aircraft cannot come and help you. You have to help yourself. Similarly, when going back to Godhead, you have to go yourself, 100%. That's why we should be very, very independent, so that we can go back to Godhead, the same life itself. So Prabhupada says that one has to go back to Godhead. Everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by any other person. So nobody can forget. Even generally he says, Maradi Baralu Kanchu Kannadi Baradu. So at the time of death, nobody will come. Nobody can come. Forget, we cannot take this body. We cannot take even the smallest, our earnings. We have to leave everything. So where is the question of, others helping? The only possibility is that we have to help ourselves. So for that, Prabhupada says we have to practice. The whole life is the practice, so that I can go back to Godhead. So that complete training has to happen. That's why Prabhupada says that the ISKCON is a kind of a training center where devotees have been trained to go back to Godhead. Not this art of living, this is art of living, how to go back to Godhead. So Draupadi's case taken here is, Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands, because she was already trained. She at once took concentration upon the lotus feet of the Lord Vasudeva. So that training from the childhood is continuous training is required. That's why we have to get trained by ourselves, and we have to train others also. That's why Prabhupada implemented a system of continuous daily Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita discussions, so that we learn ourselves and we teach others. Also, especially the children. Prabhupada always insisted that children should be taught the basics of Krishna consciousness. So because they are our future. And with that training, at the time of death, we'll be able to remember Krishna, and we can go back to Antakalecha, Mameka, Smaranukta Kalevaram. Krishna says that one who remembers me at the time of leaving the body, they will come back to me. So if our ultimate goal of life is going back to Krishna, I have to train myself such that every second I remember Krishna. Every second, whatever I do, I remember Krishna. So there is, enormous way of remembering Krishna. Easily we can remember Krishna without any difficulties. Only thing is that consciousness is required. Example given, like we discussed earlier also. While drinking water, I can remember Krishna. Yes, Krishna has given me the taste of the water. And because Krishna has given this water, I am able to quench my thirsty. While taking prasadam, we can remember Krishna. Because Krishna has given me the prasadam, I am able to survive. We can remember Krishna by breathing, because oxygen given by him, sunlight is given by him, all the nature is given by him. So everything given by Krishna. So we can remember Krishna, and we can be thankful to the Lord for giving us this very nice opportunity, so that we can get trained and go back home, back to Godhead. So especially ISKCON devotees, we have everything given by Krishna. In addition to that, we have something special given by Prabhupada, which is ISKCON temple, where devotees continuously train in different aspects, whether performing archana or remembering Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana. All this happens in ISKCON centers on regular basis. That's why with the morning chanting, so that we continuously remember Krishna. And not only that, Bhagavatam discussion, Bhagavad Gita discussion, so that we are always trained how to take care of ourselves and also help others to go back to Godhead. So Prabhupada, quoting Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakura, says that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although Subhadra's name was not mentioned, they gone back home the same body without quitting the body. So that is the advantage of being a close associate of the Lord. So here Chakra Thakura also mentions that Subhadra and others did the same, since it is not mentioned that she gave up her body. In that body she attained the Lord, since she was an eternal associate. Yeah, Subhadra is very close associate of the Lord, which is her sister itself. So her going back also is not something ordinary. Okay, so we'll read last verse.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I will read. Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 51. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yah Shraddhayaitat Bhagavat Priyanam Pando Sutanam iti samprayanam Shrunoti alam swastyayanam pavitram Labdva harau bhaktim upaiti siddhim. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the subject of the departure of the sons of Pandu for the ultimate goal of life back to Godhead is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is a narration about the personality of Godhead and the devotees of the Lord like the Pandavas. The narration of the personality of Godhead and his devotees is absolute in itself, and thus to hear it with their devotional attitude is to associate with the Lord and constant companions of the Lord. By the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one can attain the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead without failure.
Hare Krishna, Srila
Hare
Prabhupada ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So this is the concluding verse. But any chapter for that matter, the last verse is a Falashruti, which is the result of hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam. So here is very, very categorically saying that just by hearing the ultimate departure of Pandavas, our goal of life, going back to Godhead, is fully auspicious, and there is 100% guaranteed, because simply faithfully hearing about this glorious departure of the Pandavas, and which can get devotional service to Supreme Lord with the highest perfection. So this is the advantage for us, just by hearing the glorious pastime of the Supreme Lord and his devotees, especially here mentioned Pandavas, because Pandavas going back home, back to God, had also is a very, very auspicious. Generally, when Vaishnava leaves his body, so generally we don't say death, he says left his body, or he has gone back home, back to Godhead. And when Vaishnavas leaves the body, there are mixed feelings. Devotees feel happy because he has gone back home, back to Godhead. At the same time, devotees feel unhappy or sad because we miss his association. So understand that devotees who has served Krishna, who is pure devotees, going back home, back to Godhead means it's a great kind of celebration. We could, remember we discussed earlier also maybe when Haridas Thakur was in, Jagannath Puri. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu daily used to go to Lord Jagannath temple and get prasadam, because Haridas was born in a Muslim family. That's the reason he was not allowed to enter Jagannath temple. Even today in Jagannath temple, Jagannath Puri, they don't allow non-Hindus. So Haridas was not, even though he's great devotee who chants almost 192 rounds per day, 3 lakh holy names per day, but he was not allowed. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Supreme Personality Godhead himself, Krishna himself, will go to Jagannath temple, collect prasadam, and give it to Haridas Thakur. So this was happening on daily basis. So one day, Haridas Thakur felt that it's a time for him to leave. And he also knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will leave very soon. So he spoke to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, told Mahaprabhu, before you end your pastime in this material world, I won't leave this body. I won't leave this body just seeing your lotus feet. Just, kind of taking nectar from your lotus feet. I won't leave this body. And saying this, looking at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur left his body. So in this circumstances, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Haridas' body and started dancing, started jumping and dancing, celebrating. Yes, Haridas gone back home, back to Godhead. Not only that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself carried the body of Haridas and took to the seashore, did the cremation, then went to house, begged alms to celebrate perform the kind of annadana or the Uttarakriya ceremony. Himself did that. So Haridas, such a great devotee, and Krishna himself, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, serving as performing his final rites. So here in the pastime also, the Pandavas leaving, the hearing the Pandavas leaving, that pastime itself is, Prabhupada brings out here saying that will bring devotional service. Of course, the verse also saying that, Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam, narration of the absolute personality Godhead and devotees of Lord like Pandavas. Narration of the personality Godhead and devotees are absolute in itself. Thus, to hear with a devotional attitude is to associate with the Lord and a constant companion. So all that requires that we need to, with the attention, with the devotion, we have to hear such glorious pastimes. So reading Bhagavatam daily basis and hearing Bhagavatam daily basis, that is going to purify our heart with us, so that our devotional creeper grows, Bhakti Lata Bija, which has been seeded in our heart, will grow further. This is the fertilizer. Bhagavatam reading, Bhagavata reading is a fertilizer. Chanting the holy name is watering. So this kind of thing has to happen, that Bhakti Lata should grow as much as possible. And that Bhakti Lata should go and reach Goloka Vrindavan. So that's how our creeper should grow. Finally, Prabhupada concludes by saying that the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one can attain the highest perfection of life, namely going back to Godhead without failure. So this is the conclusion. This is a guarantee given by Srila Prabhupada. Going back home, back to Godhead, guaranteed. Simply hearing Bhagavatam, simply chanting the holy name, we can go back home, back to Godhead. All that requires is that little laulyam, like Rupa Goswami says that if you want to prema bhakti, we need to have laulya. Laulya means the strong desire. What is the strong desire? To hear. Here in this verse also saying that we need to hear. That hearing means should be very, very, he says that the verse says, Yes, Shraddha, Shraddhadhayita. Shraddha means with the devotion or with full attention. We have to hear and Shrunvati alam swastyanam. Prabhupada translates swastyanam is good fortune. When we hear the supreme glories of Supreme Lord, our good fortune comes and our life becomes perfectly pure, so that we are ready to go back home, back to Godhead. So Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakur also here writes that the Sampramayana means departure as here described, not otherwise. Siddhim means the state of perfection. So again, as a practice devotees, Srila Prabhupada Anugas, our only aim is to think, practice devotional service. Here Prabhupada says that our devotional service should always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This is the simple formula we need to apply. With that, we can go back home, back to Godhead this lifetime itself. So with this, I'll stop here because maybe we have a few more minutes. Next class, we'll start with a new chapter. I think this is the end of the verse. Yeah. Next chapter is how Parishit received the age of Kali, which will start tomorrow. So devotees can share what they learned this chapter. Maybe not just 2 days. Maybe we can share some points from the whole chapter as concluding, or anything else missed. Any questions also they can ask. We have 5 to 7, 8 minutes more. Yeah. Yes, Bhaskar.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, that this chapter only, 25th and 26th,
Mhm.
there, like yesterday I asked question, Prabhu, that
Hmm.
actually I found answer in 25th and 26th.
Okay.
So can you once please explain
One
that
second.
again, Prabhu?
1 second. Huh?
The disparity in material world.
Okay.
That
25th. Huh?
yes, Prabhuji. 25th and 26th is together.
Mm-hmm. Poking as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and weaker ones. So also the Supreme Personality Godhead, to lighten the burden of earth, has engaged stronger Yadu to kill the weaker and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. Okay. So what's the question, Prabhu?
Prove that like this current situation, there are so many people are like killing each other, and that is the main problem. Even Ukraine war and all that is from years it is going, like from before 3-4 years back, 5 years back, COVID has come. So COVID time it was drastically, like people were losing hope that whether they'll survive or not. So that situation was very crucial. Then again for few years it was okay. Now again after that some war started, and then now also it's trade war. There's so many things are going on, which shows that in material world there will be always some problem will be there, and is not like yesterday rightly you said, bro, it's not for gentlemen. Like there will be suffering and there'll be some problem always. So sometimes I feel very much distressed to hear about something wrong which is going on this in this India or somewhere. I feel kind of disturbed to know that somebody is simply killing someone without any silly reason. They'll kill each other.
Yeah.
So here also it is given that on that smaller fish will be eaten by the bigger survival. For in translate in purport also I read, bro, here also it is mentioned that in material world the struggle for existence means struggle for existence will be there. Means whenever we are in this material world we have to keep struggling. We cannot expect so much peaceful and so much peaceful situation with full of love and all that. We cannot expect like that, bro.
True. Yeah, 100%. Definitely, this material world, not fit for us, not fit for the devotees. So somehow we have to go back home, back to Godhead. And of course, as said here, the problem will be there. Especially the Kali Yuga means this kind of demons will increase. Number of demons will increase. So if you see in olden days also, when Kamsa time also, Ravana time also, they created a problem for only the devotees only, because they know that's the way they can hurt Krishna, because Krishna likes the devotees. They will hurt cows and brahmanas and Vaishnavas only. But that's a demonic quality only. So, but as here we cannot compare ourselves with the Yadus. The pastime of Yadu is different. We cannot compare that with what is happening today, because none of these people may not be the level of Yadu family. But the point is that yes, Kali Yuga symptom will be there. Bad things will happen. So again, what we can do, a few things. One of the best thing we can do, like yesterday we discussed, we have to intensify our prayers. So the prayers for our own safety or well-being, still we live in this world, and also well-being of other devotees, so that they are protected. Many devotees or everybody for that matter, and also as soon as take us back home, back to Godhead. So that has to happen. Prayer has to happen. Preaching has to happen. The both happens will as soon as finish this, this world and go back home, back to Godhead. That should be our ultimate goal. So otherwise, if you come back again, now we are thinking that we're disturbed. Maybe if I miss this life, if I take birth, maybe another, maybe 100 years, 200 years, situation will be worse, or maybe more, because Kali Yuga end will be still worse. So all the demons will be harassing devotees. So no chance of survival at all. So with that kind of disturbance, we cannot perform devotional service, because now, just take an example. So just the way you said, because when you're hearing this kind of incident, you get disturbed. Your consciousness thinks about those demons or those people who are creating problem. And with this consciousness, suppose we leave the body, what will happen? I may not go back home. I will take birth along with them, those demons. That's the most dangerous, right? So I should not even think about those people, so that I should think about only Lord. So that change I should do. Yes, definitely. Wherever possible, we have to do protest within our law in hand, within the guidance of seniors. We can do it. Otherwise, the first and foremost is that intensify our prayers, intensify our chanting, intensify our bhakti, so that we get out from this material world as soon as possible. That will be my comments, bro.
Yes, thank you very much, bro. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Nicely
Krishna.
I understood this. Actually, this is my weakest point. Whenever about nation something happens, I don't know, I automatically get carried away. So
Not
I
only
feel
you,
I
I
have
also.
some vasana,
Yeah,
some
I mean,
desire.
it's almost everybody's. I also get disturbed. I keep reading the messages. I mean, it's natural, right? I mean, other fellow devotees are harassed. I mean, it's natural to get disturbed. But now, what choice we have, how much we can do, that's thinking we have to do.
Yes, bro. Hare
I mean,
Krishna.
as I said yesterday, we are also responsible for it. So it's not that maybe our fellow people who voted them. So today we are voted for demons. So what can we do? Yeah. Sumit Prabhu, want to say anything on this? Yes, Prabhu. Sumit Prabhu, I don't think yeah. Yes.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah, I was saying like in this whole chapter, the art of living is given. So how Pandavas prepared for that journey back to Godhead. And in this particular verse, specifically, the last two verses are very good. Like in the 50th verse, it has been given the example of plane, which Prabhupada is given. Like it's a metaphor for death and liberation. So how when at the end of the life, everyone has to take care of himself. Nobody can go with us. I remember that story of the king and the four wives. I think
Correct.
everybody is aware of that story. So,
Mm.
like our belongings, our relatives, our family members, they cannot help us at that particular moment. That's what do you say? Like alone, we have to face that. And so this plain example is very suitable. Like if somebody is flying a plane, he can he cannot help the other plane because he has responsibility for his own plane. And when a plane takes off, before that there is ample support, ground control is there, maintenance crew is there, instructors are there. But similarly in our life also there are a lot of people are there. They can parents can provide culture and values, guru offer our instructions and connection to the divine, the scriptures give us clear direction, satsanga builds strength and clarity. But when at the time to fly, that means when the death arrive, then whatever sadhana we have done, how much is our discipline, based on that what matters is what's in our heart, what is our consciousness, and how sincerely we have practiced remembrance of the Lord. So because of that, we should be very serious about that. As Lord says, as you mentioned already, that whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So it's very important that we prepare for that remembrance, Lord's remembrance, throughout our life, so that we can remember him at the time of death. And we see the example of Draupadi. So she had 5 heroic husbands and very spiritually advanced, but at the end she has to make her own inner connection with Krishna at the end. So how she was able to do that? Because her training in bhakti was deep, her faith was unshakable, and her realization was complete. So, and the last work glorifies the Bhagavatam. So it tells like Bhagavatam is not just a book of stories. It's not different from Krishna. So it's when we are reading Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam, it is as good as having association with Krishna directly. So as it is said, Abhinatmam Name Namino. So name is not different from the Lord. So when we are hearing his pastime or his name, or we are seeing the his form, they're all non different from the Lord. So similarly, Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of the Lord. So that is not different from Lord. So taking association, hearing Bhagavatam is as good as taking association with the Lord, and that can lead to the liberation. And yeah, Prabhu. So that's why Nityam Bhagavatam Seva that we can do daily. Hear Bhagavatam. Yeah, bro.
Here, yes, as you rightly said, we are taking association with Lord, and we have another 2 advantages. We have association of pure devotees of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, by his purport, and also we have association of wonderful devotees like you all. So it's my good fortune that I am able to read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam. So this is really wonderful for my own spiritual advancement. Thank you all for that. Okay. And yeah, Roja Mataji, anything you want to say? Are you there? Can you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Yeah, like in the initially, as you said, about the husband and wife, like husband, if he does good karma, it will be transferred to wife, correct? And if bad sins will not transfer.
Not
That yeah, that part I liked. And apart from that, we have to do overall, we have to be more into the devotion, like we should chant and we should listen the Bhagavatam Katha. We should listen Bhagavatam Katha every day and should read Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, like we should be in always in Krishna conscious. Okay.
So tell
Thank you.
Ravi Prabhu to chant 16 rounds, we'll get 8
That's
rounds.
what I was thinking the same, Prabhu. I should make him to do puja every day.
So you get free.
Yeah, I was thinking that only because I have heard this from many other session as well, but I'll be telling him always.
Yeah, but you have to also do it. But yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
Prabhu, I will do it. I only do every day.
Sure,
Hare
sure.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Varsha Mataji. Udira.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you for the class. So, total takeaway is like how Pandavas left and what we learned from their leaving. Like, we should not always pray God and follow the disciplinary path and always serve devotees, not only in the sense of taking photos or anything. And without distraction, continuous spiritual thing is what helps. That's what is takeaway from this canto. Hare Krishna.
Mashankar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
This today's class was really wonderful. So, thing is that how pure devotional service we have to do it, that I could understand. And also the Pandavas and Draupadi, everybody left their with the same body they could enter the go back to God. So it is just an example that we have to take care, and we have to constantly associate with the devotees for the chanting and the Bhagavatam reading. So you told it is very simple, but I find it very difficult. And recently also, a few months back, I saw one of the video. Lokanath Swami, so you told about the art of living. Lokanath Swami Maharaj, one of her god sister, who he had initiated, was passing away. So that video was put in the YouTube. So we could see that there is no pain in her face. She's always happy and chanting even in the deathbed. So that was really an evidence that this path could lead to the go back to Godhead. But we should be pure enough, like the direction.
Sure. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Text 50, while you are explaining, while you are highlighting all this thing, I got all my final exams circumstances, whatever the final exams I have faced in my life, whatever from the early childhood, right in college, schools, and including my appointment, whatever the final examinations and interviews I have come through, the same circumstances have come back to me. 50% of husbands' pious credit goes to wives. Conducive environment can be ensured by all well-wishers like spouse, parents, relatives, spiritual masters, etc. However, the responsibility of individual soul go back to home, back to Godhead, completely on individual by utilizing the devotional training. Be grateful to Supreme Lord. Remember all the blessings and assume responsibilities. And subsequently, the very soothing effect is given in the 51, and devotees feel happy when great Vaishnavas leave their physical bodies. At the same time, they feel sad of losing the association. And you are highlighting Haridas and Chaitanya Prabhuji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji, who, but we cannot compare Haridas as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because their level is almost Krishna level. So they had the all privileges, and even including his final rites have been performed by Chaitanya with attentive. This is the one important thing, with attentive and focused mind. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam hearing and reading will enable anyone to attain the goal of life. This one important this thing is completely relieves anyone and everyone, and concentrate better on reading and hearing Bhagavatam. And that much I have understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One has to go to Goloka alone by on his own effort only, Prabhuji. The only soulmate for the Jiva is Lord Krishna only. No one will help him. And then in this body, in this Bhuloka, so many relatives are there for that body. But for the soul, only Krishna is the soulmate. And then 51, hearing makes us associate with Lord and his pure devotees, Prabhuji. So that's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Archana Mataji, anything? Asha Mataji. Asha Mataji, Tira.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My takeaways: I should always think of the Supreme. I am responsible for myself. I have to train myself how I have to live this world. Unalloyed devotional services, and then hear the glorious pastimes of the Lord attentively, and always take the association of the devotees, Harinama and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. These are my takeaways from today's class, Prabhuji. And I also like that ISKCON trains how to leave the body and not how to live. And I also was associated with other things. One major thing I have seen with ISKCON is whatever programs are there, they continually do, and they don't start with one thing and then it becomes like a fashion in other groups. And then that will go on for like 3 to 6 months, and then they stop and then they hold on to some other program. This is how I think so I have connected to, because I was always associated with something or the other. It's not that I was a devotee of Rama only, but then the thing is that they do something and then they take it with very high passion for few months, and then that program is done there, and then they hold on to another. And we always used to go back and come back and go back and come back. And this is one thing which really attracted me, Prabhuji. Thank you for you, because you said that you are associated with this, so that but for us, like, you are the Guru, Prabhuji, and then we go ahead. My humble obeisances to you for bringing me here, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all. Maybe
Yes,
this remembers.
Prabhuji, I am also telling the same, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Please bless me. Please shower your mercy on me so that I can also do a little service. Please. Bhaskar Prabhu want to say anything? I think you asked question, but yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. That's that Arjuna, he was previous verse, he was completely dependent on Krishna's mercy. So he was telling he could able to do whatever miracle possible in Kurukshetra battle. But after he was not associated with Krishna, he felt very bad, and his power, everything lost. So like that, if we associate with Krishna, his devotee, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and if we do devotional service, if we chant Harinam, then only we will have some strength, and finally we have to go to God, back to Godhead. This is the best thing, I think, in life. It is the best thing we can do. So we are fortunate by mercy of you and Prabhupada and Krishna. That's all. Hare
So just
Krishna.
before we end, this Saturday evening, if anybody want to keep Kirtan program in your house, we planned one house, but somehow I think today they are traveling, so they are not there. If anybody, maybe this Saturday, and also Akshaya Tritiya, 30th April. I think that's a very good day. If anybody want to arrange some program in your house, so that we can plan. So that's a very auspicious day, because Akshaya Tritiya day, whatever you do, you'll get multiple, right? So instead of buying gold, we can buy Hare Krishna mantra. So So if anybody want to arrange, please let us know. We can have Kirtan programs. Hare Krishna. Again, no expenses. Don't worry about it. No prasadam required. Just some fruits. But let's do feast of holy name. I just tell you once, Gaurakrishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's Guru Maharaj. So some festival devotees went and asked, Babaji, can we have some feast today? He said, yes, why not? It's a great feast. Morning we'll do Mangalarati. After that we'll do Japa, then Bhagavatam, then Japa, then Bhagavad Gita, then Japa, then Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita, then Japa. This is a great feast for the day. So morning 4 o'clock to evening 10 o'clock feast. That is Babaji Maharaj. Of course, we are not in that level, but we can do some feast of holy name if devotees wants to. Hare Krishna. Okay, if anybody interested, let us know.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Let's start.
Prabhuji, text 42, if you can highlight, not today, tomorrow.
Okay.
Today it's almost late.
Okay.
I read again and again, but not satisfied with the understanding.
42, huh? Okay.
42.
Sure, bro. Just if you don't mind, just remind me tomorrow. I'll go
Yeah,
through it.
before starting a new chapter.
Sure, bro. We'll do that.
Request you to.
Okay. Vancha kripatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.